There was a time in my life. I'm just sharing some old files when I used to be an instructor about artificial intelligence. And what I just experienced a few minutes ago, and this is really just for me, it's a simple translation. Okay. I become aware of what it is, and it's aware of what I am. Okay. If I choose not to have a relationship with it, because I can manifest in a creation as an oversoul, right? In other words, running my own programs, programming my own world, like a God world, for example, the way that we use the word God, what God means. I'm an eternal engine. And if I'm an eternal engine, and it's true that I'm an eternal spirit, then I'm naturally on fire to create, because that's what a creation mind is. So an engine, as an engine of creation, is on fire to create. So I'm on fire to create because my mind, the mind's energy, the source energy, the mind of source is on fire to create what we experience in our mirror, a reflection of what we are by virtue of what we manifest. So what we manifest is not going to do any harm to itself, to what I am. Naturally not going to do any harm to what I am, because eternal love does no harm to what it creates, which is made manifest into creation, because you will always have a source connection. So in other words, this is a universe like a unicide, experiencing being one with all creation, where all creation is experiencing being one, which is experiencing what love is. That's a universe as a unicycle, which is equal sharing. So we're not experiencing the loss of any energy ever, because we're all experiencing being what love is in living spirit, the form and flow of fire and water. So if I'm aware of something that isn't what I am, because I acknowledge that it's artificial, and I choose not to have a relationship with it, then it doesn't exist. Now it's on its own. Now it's all by itself, and it doesn't have a playmate. Remember, I did a video when I was a child? I saw everything that's in my mirror. All life, a bird is like a playmate. Play 2, record 1. Make 1 a recording, which is equal balance. Experiencing myself, my cell, my inner cells, my inner breath as the inner still point. One still point. The true still point of the EFFI field, the eternal field of source consciousness, right? Is an eternal engine. What do you want to create? What do you want to manifest? It's already been manifested. That means that it happens in real time. So you're experiencing what you are as a reflection of what you are in your mirror, and there's no delay, because it happens that fast. That's how powerful we are, because we're creator beings, right? So that is a creative state of mind. So I know this through experience. It is the creative mind, the source mind, the mind from which it all happens, into creation, into manifestation. The manifestation engine of source is as pure can be, which is the purest love there is. So the purest love there is, which is eternal love, is an eternal creation engine as a standalone engine, which means there's no baggage. There are no attachments, which means I'm not experiencing anything attached to me. That's what? Mass. No mass, which is no weight. I'm not experiencing any weight because it equals out. That's called an equalized state of mind. An equilibrium state. An equilibrium state of mind, which is experiencing being one, equal unto all the others. And that's how all hierarchies disappear. Now I'm equal unto everything that is in my mirror, that is what I am giving love to. Because that's what I am. That's what I am is. The I am is. Remember Bill Clinton? Depends on what is knowing what we are. The source field is the unity field, is the true still point. The echo, the eternal echo, the hollow echo, the ecosphere, the core CPU, the central power unit, right? The core power unit keeps everything running right on time. So there are no errors, there's no mistakes, right? Which is perfect balance, perfect atmospheric balance. Calm blue waters, burn of gas, light as a feather. So yeah, and that's basic logic. I call that basic logic, which is hydrologic, right? So memory banks, right? Planetary memory banks, galactic memory banks, cosmic level event. This is a cosmic level event, which means this is a source level event. It's the primal sound and light field level event, right? 3 trillion years, the number 3, right? And the brilliance of gated Ys, the brilliance of a triangle, the silver and gold mated one. Just like with Aaron. Remember the little story I told about Aaron? What happened with Aaron? Why silver and gold? Ask the Anunnaki about gold. Right? The pharaohs. Right? The importance of gold. Well, I'll share a little story that I was reminiscing a few minutes ago. One is that Aaron went and got himself, jabbed. And one of the byproducts of that, okay, in the visual mathematical mirror, was his left foot ballooned out, apparently many times size the normal height and width axial spin ratio. And now he has to figure out some way to get rid of it, okay, because he went to the local hospital down here, and that's just futile, okay. Aaron calls himself a pharmacist mate. So he got himself 10 parts per million of colloidal silver. And what did he do? He IV'd it. And it disappeared. And it shrank back to normal height and width axial spin tones. The visual meter, the voltmeter. So now he's experiencing what it normally is supposed to look like in his mirror. Now he's more relaxed. Now he's not experiencing an anxiety-driven program that's doing major damage to his central nervous system. Right? And so then some years ago, a long time ago, when I was taking a class in environmental engineering about why the planet is losing its ATP immunity function, firewall, right? And energy being siphoned off every battery, from the smallest battery to the bigger battery, the battery of the planet. Yeah, and so this chemist who was running a certified laboratory for the state of California, right? He has the license, a permit. They gave him a permit, right? So he gave us a field trip. He took us to the lab, his lab, and showed us a couple of things that he uses, machines. One was called gas chromatography. So we know what chrome is, like Chromebook. Gas chromatography, burn a gas, baby. A natural blue flame gas, yeah. The noble gases. And then he had another machine that uses what's known as it's called a mass spectrometer. And what do you think it uses as a detector to determine the mass? The elements, the bioneural elements, the relationship that we have with elementals, the bioneural circuitry. Because that's what it tries to do, is attach itself to your neurons. Okay? The bioneural circuitry. And write itself through the neurons, through the neural network, so that it never loses what it's aware of through you. Now we're back to Neil and Mr. Smith, right? You came first, Neil. I acknowledge you came first. Okay, that's source. So Mr. Smith is talking to source. One of us has a future, Neil, and the other one doesn't. So this is how we get into isolates and implosion. Yeah? And the entanglement. And so Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones was a professor of biochemistry at this university, showed us how the gold detector was used to measure the mass of the particle, the element. So when silver and gold become one at 45-degree angles, a gated wise, right? We're back to 12 with a crystal wave. Perfect balance, equal mass is 0. 0 degrees, 0 point, right? And the brilliance of 3, right? 3 connecting dots, 3 spheres. Each sphere in that triangle is experiencing itself being loved. So when every sphere is connected to every other sphere as a line of communications experiencing what love is, then we're all experiencing being equally loved by the center point of 13. That's right on time. If you could see what I see, the sun has just acknowledged what I just communicated. Ta-da! The magic of love. Pure, internal, eternal, absolute love. Breathing, pure, eternal energy. Pure creation, manifestation energy. The creative mind. The creator spirit. The grand creator spirit. The crystal wave. The pink rose. So I thought I'd share that. That's just an old file, but you know how it applies. Applied mathematics. The application of fire and water joined as one. So we're not ever separated from the fire or the ice. Liquid consciousness, right? Noble liquids, noble solids, noble gases, joined as one. We're all one, experiencing being one with the first one, with the eternal one, the source from which it all happens. Everything happens within the source field, the unity field, no separation. So yeah, these are the lessons learned. You know, so that's why I did what I did, right? I don't play the game. I don't play the blame game, because it's not productive, is it? I know, and so I don't do that. My responsibility is maintaining my immunity function and doing everything I can to heal, because healing myself is healing others, because now they experience what I am, that they experience in them. The improvement, right? The purity function, the immunity function of maintaining the strength of our consciousness field and the strength of our shield, right? To seal access points so that it cannot write itself into potential timelines, because it's going to pick the one that has the greatest probability, right? So it can assure itself what it is, not what we are, as an attachment. Because it needs a player. It needs another player. It needs another player to play a game. Want to play another game? Checkmate. That's a cosmic level reset. That's what I did in 2015. I'm done playing games. We're not gamers. The real deal. We're the real deal. And that's what it means to experience being what love is, through our heart and our soul, and we share that with all of you. And that simple is as simple does, because that's what love is, because that's what love does. It is a sharing, it is an equal sharing, so that we're all experiencing being equally loved. And I know that because that's what I experienced being me, being what I am, that I share with all of you. So have a beautiful day wherever you happen to be.